The city's Transportation and Traffic Division of the Public Works Department has embarked on a program in compliance with the Americans with Disability Act to make a certain number of crosswalks more accessible to disabled pedestrians. We checked in with the city's traffic chief, Ahmad El-Shafi, to find out more about the accessible pedestrian system popping up all over town. Crossing the street easily is something a lot of us take for granted. And for those with disabilities, it can be intimidating and dangerous. But that's why Rockville has taken the proactive approach to install a new, safer pedestrian system. A new sound can be heard in Rockville. And it's the sound of increased pedestrian safety. The new system is called APS. And Rockville's Traffic and Transportation Chief, Ahmad El-Shafi, knows it will help pedestrians.
APS stands for Accessible Pedestrian Signals, and what it does, it communicates a message or information for pedestrians about the interval of the pedestrian crossing, how much time they have, and when they can cross the street, and when they should stay and wait for the signal to come up. It's good for the visually impaired and also for people who cannot hear. And it gives them two kind of indications. One of them is an audible tone, which gives you a different kind of noise of when can you cross the street and when you cannot cross the street. And then also it gives some vibration, so if you cannot see, you can put your hand and you can feel the arrow where to cross the street, and when you feel the vibrations, you can cross the street safely.
Dr. Harold Snyder, Rockville resident and member and past chair of the Montgomery County Commission for People with Disabilities, welcomes the new system.
I think it's great because it enables people who are blind and visually impaired to know when it's time to cross the street, and better yet, to know when it's not time to cross the street.
The new APS system will be installed in every new intersection in Rockville, and the remaining existing signals will eventually be retrofitted with the upgrades.
Part of the ADA, which is the American with Disability Act, and what we are trying to do is we're trying to make it accessible for everybody to be able to cross the street safely. And now, of course, not like 10 or 20 years ago, traffic is heavier, and we want to make it safer for pedestrians, all kind of pedestrians. So this is definitely a step in the right direction.
I've seen things really improve in our county from a traffic point of view. When I first started to travel as a blind person 50 years ago or so, traffic was not nearly as bad as it is today. Today, traffic is really fierce. And these audible pedestrian signals offer blind and visually impaired people the chance to cross streets safely and know when not to cross streets. And that's really the key thing. It's a thing that'll save people's lives. And not only is it good for blind and visually impaired people, but when we were writing the law and thinking about the regulations, we knew that it would also be good for children and older people, or people who didn't understand street crossings and traffic patterns in the United States and who might be from someplace else.
And what do you think about the fact that Rockville is making an effort to get these installed in kind of in a progressive way?
Well, I think Rockville is really ahead of the curve. It's ahead of the rest of Montgomery County in getting these kind of signals installed, and that's what's so terrific, because I live in Rockville, and because these signals really will help the residents of Rockville to be more safe.
For more information about traffic and transportation, call the Department of Public Works at 240-314-8500.